What is up, guys? This is Pinzo back with another video today, and what I have for you guys is my kind of long-awaited predecessor Overprime breakdown. I was going to do this when Overprime came out, but then I got wind of this predecessor creator thing, and I figured I would just knock out two birds with one stone. I'm gonna try and keep this rolling because I already recorded this once and it went like 25 minutes, and I'm trying to keep it a little shorter than that. So obviously, before we get into it, if you guys go on to enjoy the content, please be sure to leave a like and a subscribe. We've been growing like crazy, but if you guys hit the subscribe button, it really does snowball. So, if you guys be part of the snowman, that kind of thing, I really appreciate all the support that I've been getting. So it just helped me out a little more. You guys are on the road to 3,000 subs by the end of the year. That's the goal. So thank you guys. We'll get into this. I'm really not trying to waste any more time. So starting us off, we are going to be going through Pred and Overprime, what I liked about some, what I like about both. We're going to be going through couple of different categories. We're going to start off with the fact that I think Pred will be the better game in the long run. I have a lot more faith in Omida and their future than I do in Overprime. The reason for that is I got to talk with the devs, I got to talk with, designers, all that kind of stuff all week, and they are awesome. They are doing a really good job. I think that as of right now, Overprime has a very, very pretty bow wrapped on it. The contents, I think, are still questionable. I think the bow is very pretty. Moving into the game itself, Predecessor. I think that both of these games actually ran very well. If you want to check the stats on my computer, the specs on my computer, they are over on twitch.tv/pinzodunzo, #plug, and you guys can see my specs there. I don't know exactly what they are off the top of my head, but I was running this game well. I was streaming Overprime, recording Predecessor, wasn't having any frame issues. On max settings for both, it was pretty good. I will say that I was on 150 ping for both games. I was playing on NA East servers for both games. Predecessor felt substantially better on high ping. It didn't feel like I was really lagging at all. In Overprime, I was clipping, I would dash and then I'd clip back and then I'd auto. If you guys watch any of my YouTube videos, you could see it. Like it was bad. Something to think about, that if you're not going to have NA West servers in Overprime, the entire western half of the United States is going to be having some connection issues. And if that's what the kind of connection issues you get, which is like insane clipping, then there's going to be issues. Moving on, game length. This is where some spread happens, because I think Predecessor's game length is substantially better. Most of my Predecessor games were ending at about 25 to 35 minutes. I had one like 45-minute game that was very competitive. Most of them are ending, 25, 35. You're hitting full build right about 30 minutes. The towers weren't super strong. You were able to actually like run it down. I'd actually like to see towers like maybe buffed a little bit, because you really only had to win one fight. I'd like to see you have to win two fights. But either way, the game was able to be ended. You were hitting full build. Small asterisk on full build, because your starter item is completely free in Predecessor. So you're only buying 5 items to hit full build. So you're buying some less items, but it's something from a game design standpoint that's obviously a choice. You only have to buy 5 items. That's 3,000 less gold you have to gain to hit full build. It's a good choice. In Overprime, games were like 45 to 50 minutes long. It was a slog. It wasn't fun after about the 30-minute mark. Games were impossible to end because of the small map. The only way to end was to get like 4 primes in a row, and that was it. So we'll get into some of those issues later. The game itself was just hard to end. I didn't like the game length. They need to address something about it. I have a variety of solutions if they want to hit me up, but I won't go over all of those in today's video. Next up, items. I will say that the Overprime item shop was better. It looked better. Their item art is better. It was a little more navigatable. I really liked it. Predecessors just need some quality of life help, here and there. Like sorting items needs a little help. Their item art obviously needs updated. They know that. They're working on it. That kind of stuff. As far as the items themselves, these are the least comparable parts of the game. The reason being that, for those of you who don't know, Predecessor removed all actives off of items outside of their starter items. So in Predecessor, your starter item will have an active on it. Nothing else will. In Overprime, a lot of items have actives on them. It makes the games hard to compare. In Overprime, you can have 6 items that are essentially 6 extra abilities, and in Overprime, you get 1. Or in Predecessor, you get 1. So it's hard to compare the games exactly. I think that they both have ups and downs. I think that Overprime needs to either increase their gold or decrease the cost of their items or something, because The items are expensive. You're ending each game at 45 minutes with 4.5 items finished, which it just doesn't feel very good to not hit full build in a game like that. So something needs to change there, in my opinion. In Predecessor, I think the items are good. Coming from Smite, they feel very similar because they're all passive. I like them. I think that it's the gold is the correct amount. You're hitting full build at the right time in the game. I really like it. My issue with both of these item systems comes down to build diversity. It's very good in both games for every role except carry. Carries have one build path, and it is build 100% crit chance and run at people. I don't like that. I think it's dumb. I don't think that it's good for the game. Every carry has the same build. It doesn't matter if you're playing an auto attack or like, you know, supposed to be playing a one-shot carry or whatever. Twin Blast has the same build as Murdoch, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's boring. Period. Bottom line. I don't know why they take all the good passives and stats that are on auto attack items and then just slap crit on there. They just slap 20% crit on every good auto attack item. It's a little baffling to me. I just don't think it's a good decision. I think they need to split those trees up. You know, in Smite you have Chin Size, which does % health damage, and Deathbringer, which you know increases your crit damage. Those two are distinctly different builds. I don't know a single build where you build Chin Size and Deathbringer. They're completely different. In Predecessor, you have Sky Splitter, which is Chin Size with 20% crit on it. In Overprime, I don't know what the item was called, but it was Chin Size with 20% crit on it. It's just a little baffling to me why you slap crit on an item that has good stats already. I'll get into that more if you guys have more questions. Ask me down below. I'm trying not to drone here. Moving on. Heroes. I think that it's obvious that Overprime has quantity on their side. They have more heroes. I think that the quality of Predecessor's heroes is vastly superior. I really don't think it's a competition at all. Predecessor has redesigned all their heroes. Obviously, they're not completely new kits, but every character in Predecessor has either a new passive or a new ability. You know, at least one. They're doing a really good job. I don't know exactly who is on the hero redesigns, but they're doing a super good job on them. They're fantastic. I really like them. Overprime, on the other hand, is literally copy pasting from Paragon into Overprime. It's just 1-to-1 on the abilities. Everything's the exact same. It's super boring to me. I obviously, we're playing Paragon 2, dude. What's wrong with copy pasting characters? Like, dog, they're using the same assets. I'm not here to play Paragon. Like, I stopped playing Paragon for a reason. I don't want to play it again. I want to play Predecessor, you know, which is a different game. That's kind of my point. They also totally nuked Howie. I don't know what they did to him. He looks like a little kitsune instead of, you know, an actual cigar smoking raccoon. Don't know why that happened. New character obviously is a big point of contention. Xena is a Shinbi clone. They look the exact same. They're both you know, K-pop girls with big swords. Her kit is nothing groundbreaking. You know, it's nothing crazy. She has fairly standard abilities, all things considered. I don't see the hype around her. Honestly, I'm unimpressed. If I'm a company and I'm releasing my first original hero and like, hey, this is what you can expect from us moving forward from our original heroes, and they release Xena, like, my confidence in that company goes down. That's all I'm saying. Next up, general fights. Again, hard to compare. In Overprime, it's more of a scuffle. So everyone jumps in and it turns into an old-timey cartoon where it's just a ball of like dirt with little fists coming out of it and stuff like that. That's Overprime. And then someone comes out standing. Predecessor feels a little more tactical. My only complaint with Predecessor so far is the amount of crowd control in the game. It's very crowd control heavy, just because the heroes that they have tend to be crowd control heavier of the Paragon cast. Should get watered down as they add more heroes. The amount of crowd control in each match will get watered down a little bit. Hopefully that's true. There is no DR in the game, so if you guys are used to, you know, being able to break CC chains, not going to happen. Just a heads up. I think both games are a little, you know, too far apart to judge in that sense. You know, Overprime team fights feel a lot more like an arena shooter. Predecessor team fights feel a little more like a tac shooter. You know, they're not super comparable. Moving on to our last two things for today's video. This is going to be the two things that I don't like about either game. The first one's pretty minor. This is auto attack penalties. The movement speed penalties specifically, and that is to say that they're non-existent. Playing Overprime, if you're running directly away from someone and they're behind you, like on the edge of auto attack range, they auto you like 6 times before they fall out of auto attack range. It's baffling to me how fast people can be by holding W and mouse 1. Coming from Smite, you move really slow. If you're trying to follow someone and you're a ranged character, you cannot auto and keep up with them. It is just not going to happen. You have to choose whether or not you want to follow them or whether or not you want to auto them. You have to choose. In both of these games, you don't have to choose. You can kind of just run people down. I just like to see the penalties honestly increased in both games because it's annoying. I hate being run down when I'm trying to run away from someone that I should be faster than. Next up is the maps. I don't like either of the maps in these games. I'm going to be honest. I think Predecessors has less issues and an easier fix. Predecessor needs to mirror the map. Obviously, so the objectives in Predecessor are offset. I think they should be even, and I think the jungle should be mirrored. They have it's a very small, okay, obviously it's small, but present strong side, weak side component to their game. I think that if you mirror the map completely, then that goes away. I really like the way that Predecessor's lanes are set up. They have a lot of verticality. There's a lot of things you can do in the lanes. You know, the buffs are off to the side. The lanes themselves are done very well. I'd like to see the jungle completely mirrored, remove any chance of strong side, weak side. That's me. I'd like to see that happen. The Overprime map is possibly the worst MOBA map that has ever been put into existence. It's one saving grace. The one thing that I like about the Overprime map more than the Predecessor map is the Prime and Raptor pits. They are very big. They don't feel claustrophobic at all, and I just like the way they're set up. Predecessors can be a little bit claustrophobic when you're stuck in there. They're just very surrounded. So that's it. In Overprimes, they're very open. Overprime has a bunch of other issues. Obviously, number one, portals. Why are there portals on the map? League at the beginning of the last League season just changed teleport to stop the very thing that Overprime is actually incentivizing here, which is putting the solo laner in the duo lane at 8 minutes. The issue with Overprimes is that only one solo laner can get there. You know, only one person can teleport at a time. So it's just really unfair to me. I really don't like them. They should honestly just turn them off. If you're not going to straight up remove them from the game, turn them off. They're not a good mechanic, I think, to have in a MOBA whatsoever. On top of that, the one tower, one inhib setup is just bad. It's to me, it's like ordering a hamburger when you could get a cheeseburger. You know, throw in that extra layer, get a little more substance to that thing before you take that bite. It's gonna make it better. Just trust me. Taking out a tower, the main thing it does is, to me, it squishes the map too far. So when you recall, the boosty guy out of base, it gets you halfway to lane. So your run back to base in Overprime is legitimately like 8 seconds out of base. So you don't lose any creeps for backing. You can recall all you want and you're not going to lose any creeps. You're not going to get behind. It's really annoying. It makes it really hard to actually gain pressure in a lane whatsoever. I just didn't like it. I don't think that it's good at all. If you're going to do that, take away the jump pads. Make the run back to base 20 seconds instead of 8, and then maybe, you know, we can talk. I just don't think it's a good mechanic to have the lanes be that short. Other thing it does is just lets you turtle really effectively. Obviously, you guys played the game too. It was hard to end. It was really difficult to end games. Part of that is because of the squished map. I think that Overprime just needs a new map. I think Predecessors just need some changes, but that's my biggest gripe with both games, honestly, is the map. So hopefully we see some changes on some of those from both companies. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video as well. That's all I've got for you guys. So if you guys did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like and a subscribe if you guys are new. And if you guys are enjoying the content, you know, let me know down in the comments below. I'll be answering questions, all that kind of stuff. That's it, all I got for you guys. So as always, I've been Pinzo. This video is done. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.